Hello everyone. This is Nico speaking, and I wanted to make a quick video to show you one addition I've put into the site of the sonars. So I'll start with the whale sonar picture, which tells us that we are currently at very low values with respect to the history of the whale sonar. But that's not really what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you the addition was in the tab of backtesting, where I am backtesting a number of strategies from the past up to today. And those strategies at the moment are based on a number of technical indicators like trix, MACD, on balance volume, check-in money flow, or plain buy and hold. And I'm checking which of these worked in the past and which one was the best. Before I go to this new addition, I wanted to tell you, let me explain a bit, just in a couple of minutes, what each of these indicators is actually doing. So if I look at Yahoo Finance here as an example marathon, so we see that this is the course of the past 1 year of the price action for Mara, and here on these tables I've put MACD, trix, on balance volume, and check-in money flow. So what MACD does, first of all, it is looking at two moving averages. Um, One is the 12 moving average and the other is the 26, so it's called the fast and the slow. And often when these two intersect here, you have a zero on the MACD. It means that one is overtaking the other. Like here it happens, and here this histogram becomes zero, and here they overtaking, and so on. So this the black of MACD is used often to give us an indication of whether we are in buy territory or sell territory with respect to this indicator. The strategy I've been implementing was to say if MACD is positive, buy, then, and when it turns negative, sell. Then trix. Trix is designed to is taking three moving average one on top of the other. And by doing that, by doing all these nested moving averages, it smoothens a lot the price action. So for example, here you see that it goes down and trix goes down, and here it goes up, the price action, and here slightly up, and here down, and trix down. So what trix is doing, it is giving us the general trend and the general trend of this stock in the market. Currently, we see going down, and we are going down. Also here there is a zero axis. So the strategy I implemented was when trix is above when the momentum of when the slope of trix is going downwards, then sell, and when it is going upwards, like here the slope is going upwards, then buy. So here you would buy, and here you would sell. So that's the strategy I implemented based on trix. On balance volume, so the on balance volume, the definition of on balance volume is very interesting because it is based on a formula like this. I got it from Investopedia. So the current value of on balance volume is the previous one plus the volume if the close is larger than the previous close, or minus the volume if the close is less than the previous close. So in a way, it is taking the volume into account, and that's very interesting now because the other technical indicator, not all technical indicators take the volume into account. But this makes it harder for to compare across stocks because the volume across different stocks is very different. So here you see some kind of a huge number. That number is going to be completely different if I look at another stock. So what would make sense for on balance volume is to compare whether that indicator goes up or goes down. Not the actual number that you see here. And that's the strategy I implemented. I say when on balance volume has a trend upward, then buy. When it has a trend downwards, then sell. Check-in money flow, the last one is, you can see it's very similar to the on balance volume. Well, not here. And if I look at the definition of check-in money flow, I took it from that website here. So here the definition is the following, which is very interesting. It looks at the close of a day minus the low of the day minus the high minus the close. So in a way, this expression gives you the variation within the day, the maximum minus the minimum of the day, with respect to the close. And here is the total variation, high minus low. And so this is, let's say, the normalized variation within the day times the volume. So it is this normalized variation within the day is weighted by the volume of the day. And then you take a sum of across n days. And you divide by the volume. So in a way, the check-in money flow gives you the weighted average of the variation of the day weighted by the volume. So that also is interesting because it takes the volume into account. So let's go back to Mara and see how it looks like. So here we have a sharp rise, for example, and that would be probably because the volume was large in that day. And here we have a sharp decline. Again, probably that steepness is due to the high amount of volume. We can see a little bit of volume picking up here and here. So again, here there is a zero axis. So my strategy was if this is going upwards, then buy. If it is going downwards, then sell. So now let me show you the results of that backtesting. You will find it under backtesting. So I split the results between stocks, and between coins. And the reason why I did that split is because I thought initially that they would behave differently, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to put them together. So with the different colors, you see the result of the different strategies, assuming you start 1 year ago. So the backtesting period is between same date, but 1 year ago up to today, actually yesterday, starting from an initial capital of, let's say, 10,000. So it was 10,000. So for let's take Mara as an example. For Mara here, we see that the blue, which is trix, would have given us today something like 12,500, and the best two would be these two, which is the on balance volume and check-in money flow. And buy and hold, which is the last one, is somewhere here. It would have given us something like 7,000. Riot, here we see the buy and hold is very low, which makes sense because Riot is coming from something like $80 up to today's value, which is something like 12. But if we would trade with using on balance volume, we see we would even make a gain. That would be great. Hut here, Hut 8. The best strategy by far for some reason is the check-in money flow, which would end up in something like 30,000 and so on. What I see here is that actually for the majority of the stocks, HUT is an exception, but for the majority like Argo, the different indicators do not make a huge impact like DigiHost and DMG and MicroStrategy and Coinbase. They are aligned, but there are some exceptions. So I aggregated them together and I said here in this pie chart, which is the strategy that wins the majority of the time. So the majority of the time is shared between a trix strategy, a check-in money flow strategy, and an on-balance volume strategy. And the least amount of success is given to us by MACD and buy and hold. So what I find interesting is that two of these good strategies, the check-in money flow and on-balance volume, are exactly looking at volume. I thought this would be too strange to be a coincidence. Maybe there is something interesting around that. Maybe the volume is telling us something about trading these stocks. But to be sure, I repeated this analysis, and that's the new addition I wanted to tell you. So this is, I repeated this analysis for a back testing, but putting the clock back 1 year. So the whole back testing has a period of 1 year, but it ended 6 months ago. So I wanted to see if these results are sensitive to the date, the calendar that we are looking at. So if we would have done it in the past, ending everything 6 months ago, we see that buy and hold was very successful, but check-in money flow was actually giving us a similar percentage of success as we would have had today. That's interesting. My interpretation of why buy and hold wins in this backtesting, in this backward backtesting, is because we were back then we were in a much better macro environment, and simply holding the stock would give you already a lot of returns. Overall, my conclusion here is that these volume indicators are quite interesting, apparently, because at least the check-in money flow appears in both. Let's go to the coins. To the coins, this is the detailed bar plot. We have here Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Luna, Ripple, Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, and Matic. So what we see here is not a lot of variation. So not a lot of variation across the different strategies. So for example, Bitcoin would give us something like 15,000 across all these different strategies. Here is an exception. Luna went totally parabolic, with the best strategy for sure would have been the buy and hold. We would have ended up north of 160,000. Check-in money flow is not so bad either. And here Ripple is similar to Bitcoin. All strategies pretty much the same. Matic almost the same. Avalanche buy and hold. So let's see who is winning. Who is winning is buy and hold would have been the best strategy by far in coins for a 1 year backtesting ending today, and check-in money flow was the second best with MACD also. Now I repeated that again with turning the clock back, putting the date back 6 months, and say let's do the same 1 year backtesting, but now it finished 6 months ago. And in that scenario, buy and hold is by far the best strategy. And what is interesting is that buy and hold is the winning strategy in both of these backtesting, both with 1 year backtesting as of today and with 1 year backtesting as of 6 months ago. That's interesting. And my interpretation of that is that the altcoins experienced a lot of growth, some of it really parabolic, and if you would trade based on the technical indicators, you would have missed those upward movements, which were very sudden. You can't really anticipate them, and they happen on a small percentage of time. So on a small percentage of time happens the most of the action. So that's the conclusion here. Buy and hold would have been the best strategy for the coins. So as I said, I'll keep it short. I'll stick just to this kind of insights for today regarding backtesting. There is a lot of results here if you want to see, and please give me feedback if you want to see something additional as analysis, so we can implement it and get some more insights. All right, thanks very much, and good luck with your trading.